Well, today is Saturday, July 27th. Yesterday, on Friday, I went ahead and picked this new Jeep up from a friend on his farm. He bought it probably at an auction and had it for a year or two. Got it running, but never did any actual work to it. Oil change and all, that's about it. So, I paid $1,500 for this Jeep, which we're going to be calling this Jeep Red Stallion because it's got a V8 Ford Mustang engine in it, so it's got a horse Mustang. But before I even told what engine I had, Grandma already told me, like, call it Red Stallion. Okay, that works. So that's the name of the Jeep. I almost want to call it Armored Red Stallion because the doors on this thing are probably 50 plus pounds. The whole body is not a Jeep body. The grill, the hood, and half the part of the windshield is original. And the tailgate hinges. And front bumper. And the chassis, of course. That's it. That's what's original. Everything else is DIY. Overbuilt. The fenders, the whole tub in the back, the fender flares, all of that is 1/8 inch plate. That's not plated over the original Jeep. It's just they probably got the body off, took measurements, and made a homemade body. So that's what I'm seeing here. So it's done well. It's overkill. That big fender arch is huge, but at least it's okay. So it's overkill. It's heavy. I hauled it on my small single axle trailer. It's only a 10-mile drive from home. Not bad. The poor ramps don't like it. Made for a tractor. I can beef those up. It does fit fine. Extra foot of room to adjust wheelbase of balance on the trailer. Did fine. My Ford Explorer towing it did okay. Brakes are okay. The biggest thing was gas mileage. 8 miles a gallon towing this thing. I usually get 18 to 20. Yeah, it dropped a bunch. So I'd still, for the long term, if I keep this Jeep for the long term, and if I still have Jenny, my truck, 49 pickup, I'd like to find a dual axle trailer this size. This is a 14-foot trailer, so a 12, a 14-footer. Just do some rigger ramps, not this big ramp. Dual axle with e-brakes on it. And I'll put e-brakes on the cop car, also e-brakes on my 49 pickup somehow. And that way I have a nice, safer way of towing it. One tire blows, I have 3 more tires. This will roll on nicely, more balanced. So I think that's the long term. I'd like to find some kind of trailer. I want to go vintage vibe, so it's more vintage. I mean, I'm not sure trailers ever changed over the lifetime of a design, but try to get more vintage style from the 40s, 50s trailers, but still modern safety, brakes, bearings, and retro wheels. Actually, these wheels are like stock Jeep wheels. And this wheel is what I'll go after. Find like a set of those to match my truck. Anyway, that's future. So, what's on Red Stallion and what year is the Jeep? Well, based off the grill and something else I saw. Mainly the grill. Looking at these lights. There's no title for it, so I can't tell at all. But looking at these, they're not original, but they're still sticking out. So I'm wondering. I'm not really verified. Yeah, they are. So it's definitely 47 and newer based off that marker light. So that's that. So it's 47 through probably 50. He said 57, which I kind of doubt it. Anyway. So, what to do first? Let's just do outside to inside. So, it's a homemade body. Going back, fender flares. The half cab is different. It's got Myers Jeep heart doors for 2A to fit that nice angle there. Overbuilt hinges. And you got plexiglass window to see out on the side view, but you have the original windshield still, but it's built around make it shrunker. But this half cab is not Jeep at all. I love the sun visor. I do love that. But if you look at the hard top, it's got this like molding going across and it's curving, which I'm going to say is 1920, 1930s kind of style era. I mean, my 49 truck has that too, a little molding around itself. So I need to figure out what kind of car or truck back in the day had that piece to make it match. So otherwise, I just took a Myers door frame. I don't know. Mini side steps, rail there, gussets. You got nice sturdy steps on the side pipe exhaust, and then you had another antenna mount here. So you have an antenna there, one here and one there, plus a beacon light. Back in the back, again, this Weaver built. Like it's thick, but just that's plates, and then they put a bead around and make it pretty, probably stronger, not sharp edges. But that's still stock Jeep latches, stock hand hook, but the cable's not. Bumper's nice and formed. I like the bumper. Drawbar is gusseted and a little bit raised up higher. A receiver and a ball hitch, probably 1 7/8, which I use a lot. Chains for me logging. I wouldn't use this for rescue, but for logging. Stock Jeep hinges, but not the original tailgate, of course. So, all right, that's Jeep in the back here. And lots of lights in a wiper mode in the back. And so I'm probably going to remove a bunch of these lights. Remove that one. This one's cool, but it's really rusty. It probably doesn't work. This one, that's fine. This one, maybe. Yeah, probably leave these three. Those three I'll leave. Just remove 1, 2 lights. I'll remove these primarily. Wiper blade fixed. Find a paint code match for this paint that's probably brushed on as well. So that's that. But all right, let's go into engine bay. So as for drivetrain, this has a Ford 302 V8. We believe Mustang. Does run, does drive, but there's a few minor things that need done. There's no brakes, big thing. So I did see, went to the air cleaner off yesterday. It does have a Holly, 2 or 4 barrel, I don't know, but Holly. That's about all I can tell you. I don't know motors that much. Yeah, I don't know. It's all new to me. Here's our big issue: is the brake master. He said it's no good. That's not Jeep, of course, but it is drop down pedal, which I like to see. But it is definitely, on Google screenshotted it. It looks like a Ford F100, 1950s brake master. It's like $22 to replace. Which I would do that, yes, for the longevity. If I get this thing nice and running and fix the frame, I'll put disc brakes on it or just run a dual master on drums, just so in case front fail, you still have rear brakes. And it's already dropped down converted, so it makes it a little bit easier to work on and convert it. And based on how this is all set up, I wouldn't mind moving this reservoir over here so you have more space for the brakes. So anyway, that's all I can show you the engine bay of my knowledge based. Wires, I want to go through and clean the wires up. Guess you'll have to use trailer plugs. 1, 2, 3. There's a bunch more inside I saw. So that's a nice common connector he used. Whoever built this Jeep. Hood scoop is fake. At least it didn't destroy the hood. Let's get a little blue light here. That doesn't work, but it's that light. These are for the heater, so that's why they're just sticking out. He wants to get more space in here, and he wanted defrosters, so he made those for defrost. You got wiper motor sprays for your windshield sprays. And the motor himself, they do work. And then on the front end, the bumper original, but massive snow plow mount. I had the plow, it's still at the guy's house. Gotta pick it up later today. It's 6 foot long, wide, and it's heavy duty. Definitely need the tractor to lift it, and it's probably really made for like a Ford F-150. It's like that size plow, or even heavier. So way overbuilt, but it has V8, so it's got power for it, but it shouldn't have that big of a plow. And so I'm just gonna remove the plow off and sell it. I prefer just to sell this piece here and the cylinder, but keep this big coupe thing. It just looks cool for the Jeep. Though I do want to remove this thing. It's plastic. It will break. These big horns are fine. The light's there still. This is fine, but remove that one. These bottom ones are fine me, just for the style of the Jeep. But and I can still add a winch in there. I like worn winches, but I have a winch I bought for the back of my truck. Never used it, so we'll put it here. And now I have an idea, so how to mount it. And then let's get this blue box for jumper cables to jump the Jeep or jump someone else. So that's those. And it does have power steering. It is Saginaw, which I love, and it does steer smoothly. But the big dilemma is it hangs so low. So the box is okay, but the say pivot arm going to the tie rod for say, that is way too low below the leaf spring area. So yeah, that's why you see a lot of dirt in the snowplow subframe. I kept hitting it. So at least it's guarded now, but when I take the plow off on the bottom section of the subframe, it's gonna hit a rock and break it. So that's one big thing to do. I like to raise the steering box at least 1 to 2 inches higher, and then with this part of the snowplow frame that's hanging down low, how the steering box is mounted, somehow add on from it that thick, like quarter inch, 1/8 inch thick. You can make a box around the steering box just to guard it, kind of like a JKU has on their steering boxes. So hey, I'd rather deal with a big box on the front hanging low than manual steering. So it's not a bad trade-off, but still. Alright, so that's all that. And then it's pretty dark to show you, but the frame is okay. Frame section's good. Once you get up to the transmission crossmember for the T90, just the mounts going down for the crossmember are rotted, but the member itself looks okay. The frame looks decent, but still I would chop it. So chop the frame here and replace the rear section. Back here on the back section, I have a frame over here. I'll just show you how the better view. And I'm gonna use this frame for fixing. Now this frame is a CJ5 frame. It's called One Friend, and yeah, it's the same width, so I can use this frame. It's not horrible. It's better than what I have to work with. So on that Jeep, on this crossmember, this is 5 though, so pretty much right in this area I would chop it, right in front of this thing, chop it, and then weld to it, and add a plate, a C-channel plate, and then weld that, make it stronger, and probably even do some boxing in on this one before I install it. Chop it there and just replace the back half. The big thing on that one is I get some minor rust in this area, rust holes through the frame. Then over here on this section's just gone on that one. On the driver's side, it's all gone. And also the triangle, gone. This triangle is there, and it's still supporting it. And then back here, it's got some minor rust going on. But it's the worst section here, and of course the transmission area. Back crossmember, of course, we'll fix that. So yeah, not a bad frame I have to work with. I'll probably replace the shock mounts. And for this Jeep, it's on 32-inch tires, which for Bantam Jeep Festival I go to every year, and I want to run, this is a short wheelbase. You need to have 32s or bigger for Blue Trail. Black Trail 33s. I was on Black Trails this year on 42-inch tires with my friends YJ, and those trails are just, I don't want to do it. It's just too extreme. I mean, for Bantam, it's pretty easy actually compared to other parks, but from my experience so far, I don't like black. So I'm just gonna stick to Blue Trail, enjoy my Jeep, and don't beat on it hard. Though it is just a trail Jeep. It's not to be a restored Jeep. It's not to be a daily driver or a rat rod, it's Willys buggy. So yeah, that's the frame. Which at least I have something to work with here. I might have to go to a friend to get his 2A frame. I want to be perfect, but it's a $500 package deal. He wants the body and the frame, and I only need the frame. So I just use this frame I have. Use what I got. But also on that Jeep frame, I can already tell they chopped these mounts and dropped them an extra 2 inches to gain height. And still, it's not really high enough. And so I know eventually I'll probably put 33s on it. For now, these 32s are okay. One tire goes low eventually. So I'll have to do a suspension lift on this thing. I do have some shackles. It'll gain me an extra 1/2 inch clearance somewhere. Put those on. But that's about all I have right now. I don't plan on doing a body lift at all. Might throw off all the cables, everything for the motor. So I don't want to touch body lift. Just do suspension lift cheaply. Yeah, and those wheels on that thing are off of a Ford Mutt, which are horrible for steering and offsets. And so the first thing I'm going to do once I pull tires off to check things and wash the Jeep is just flip those around so get a better offset. And then long term, get spacers for it. If I could find instead to use 33s on some 15-inch wheels, sure, I'll put those on instead. But for now, run these wheels. All right, let's go to interior now. A little more kind of fun part. So you have bucket seats. These seats all fold down. And then right there's your fuel cell. Cylinder neck hanging out the back. Fuel cell, nice new fuel line. Setting it's over there. I'm not sure if this thing is internal pump, which I doubt it's probably external, but I'm not sure how long that goes. If you're like almost empty, where's the pickup at? So I'm not sure on that. But yeah. And there's your battery location. Not the best place. You have a nice, decent headliner design. Though that might not work. Got plenty of switches over here, and yeah, find the one that works. So I'm gonna get inside. Yeah, that's the problem. That's no place to grip. That's your only body rust there is your floor, where your feet are, where your salty boots are. But this floor is still overbuilt, so that's easy to patch. Alrighty. Let's go widescreen, maybe? No, I can't go wide. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, so wiper motor, they work. Here's your defrost vents coming out of the heater. Your frosters will then have a hose. They need new hoses. And I have the other side here. That'll get all bolt on there and then hose inside. So that's for defrost. And then your high beam switch right there. And then it's got power steering, turn signals. There is no key. The key is a screwdriver, which doesn't even work still. He does a screwdriver back here, does something, but I don't like it. I'm putting a regular key on this thing on the dash somewhere, just so it's safer to start up than use a screwdriver every time. I do want to put a screwdriver in here and kind of weld it in place, or somehow hold it, glue it, whatever, just for the look of a screwdriver in here. But I still have the key on the dash. So that's the steering stuff. As for all these gauges, you have fuel, amp gauge, speed. It's got 43,000 miles on it, ish, if you could trust the V8. Oil temp, oil pressure, RPM. You have vacuum, and this is water temp. They have a clock. Then you have an hour meter, for some reason. And then radio, it's AM and FM. And then down here, you have your old CB mount, which I have an old Cobra 29 I'll put in here. Your CB holder, handbrake cable, handbrake. And then I have no idea what you do, no idea. And then you have, I have no idea what that does. You have 1, 2, 3 red lights, don't know. This one and this one are lights that shine the dashboard up. And then I don't know what that does, no idea what that does. These two are your wiper motors. So you have 2 different speeds, yeah, just on and off. So they do work. I did try them when I was driving the Jeep on test drive. They do work. And then over here is all your switches for all your many, many lights in this Jeep. So snowplow stuff here. That blue light on the cowling. Washer motor for the washer things for the windshield. Main headlights. And then you have your fog lights. You have a heater, lighter. No idea. Fan. There was an AC fan here to cool you off. It's still on the floor here. I'm gonna see if it works and remount it. Be nice to have for the trail. So fan, your backup lights, then you have dash lights. And then I have no idea what this thing does. Brake lock. Does it have a line lock that's electronic? I mean, I did see this on the I'll show you a little bit later. Underneath the brake master is an extra line going to something else. I think that might be line lock. I don't know. For burnouts. So that's all that for the dash to show you. And then yeah, you have 4 shifters. So it's T90. I don't know if it's an A or a C. I'm not sure. But this reverse seems deep. So you have, it's in first gear, neutral, goes far, forward, first, second, third. Then you have your full drive and two-wheel drive. Then you have your low and high range. And then this one here was stuck far forward when I got it. And I just asked, and I already knew ahead of time what it could be. But he had no idea what this 4-shifter was for, PTO or something. Had no idea. It's like, I bet it's overdrive. I crawl up underneath the Jeep. There's one overdrive on this thing, which makes total sense for a V8 engine swap. So, and I paid $1,500 for the Jeep. To me, a bit overpriced. I tried to give him down to 12. He said 15's firm. He had a guy coming Sunday for it. It just so happens was my friend up in New York, Dennis. So he was going to go get the Jeep Sunday. And he was surprised when I told him I had overdrive on it. And to us, overdrive used is $750, $800, so it's like half what I paid for is just for overdrive. And you have a running V8 engine. Yeah, that's probably the main top 2 values there is on this Jeep. Is the engine, transmission that does drive, of course the overdrive. So, yeah. What's my plans in here before I walk out for updating? Of course, clean this Jeep out. Make sure the one benefit is on this Jeep, the guy noticed. The guy I bought it from, he didn't do any work. He just bought it, never did anything else to it. Just got running. But the prior owner did all these modifications for plow Jeep. But the nice thing is the dashboard, like 2A dashboards, you can't work on the dash. You got to work upside down and work on it. And your sheet metal screws holding the dash panels. And it's split right here. It's not one big dash, of course, for the power steering. So it's nice for the switches. And then you have one big one for that big panel. So that's nice. So that's handy there. There's some wood here, price for spacing, but I like to put some wood all the way across this thing just to decorate the Jeep a little bit. And then get a soldering iron, which I have, and just trace in by pencil red Stallion in cursive sort of deal over there, just to give it some detail. Put a phone holder here for my phone, your sunglasses, whatever you have to do, holder there. And then here the battery will go in the back, ammo can here, or some regular center console for storage. Put a lock on it. Then you have underneath the seat storage, which are just, there's so much room there, I'm not going to argue. That's for tool storage and parts. And the back trunk is just for recovery gear, ropes and chains and jerry can inside there. So that's the plane back there. Yeah, let's walk out. I'm going to show you the line lock, which I believe might have line lock. It says here to say air brakes for say, but I bet it's line lock. So you have brake master right there, but you have a separate line. So let's see how this is going. Yeah, it's front leak. So where does this one go to? Where does that one go to? Let's just try to figure where the lines all go to. That I can't tell where that one goes to at all. But why is there 3 splits? I don't know that question. But so that's rear. That might be rear brake as well. And this one here splits off, goes to this little something, then goes down around to the front end. And then that splits off, of course, the front axle. So, yeah, that's front brake line there. This isn't a dual master, it's just single masters. Yeah, it makes more sense. So that's the front brake right there, brake line. These two are your rear brakes, which I still don't understand. I don't know. I'm used to having just have 2 splits, but whatever. So yeah, that goes that way into that system. And yeah, these 2 wires here probably go into that switch. So it might be a line lock. Interesting. Alright, that's all I want to verify. So electronics go to a brake. These are for your brake lights, and those are for your line lock, probably. Got barrel fuses, which is okay. I got plenty of spares of those. Alrighty, that's all I want to see. Now, for the Jeep itself, Dad has, okay, both my parents have seen this Jeep already. Because it's at my friend's house, at our co-worker's house. So parents have drove by, they took a picture of it. Oh, Kevin's got this Jeep outside. What is it? From a far away picture, like I have no idea what it is. It's a 2A, 3A, for all I could tell. And then that's all I heard of it. I didn't stop to go check at it, whatever. I did message him, but got really nothing out of it. And then on Facebook, I see this Jeep pop up for sale, $2,800. I knew right away. It says, well, I did talk to him in chat, but it's just too much money. And it sat on Marketplace for 2 months. No one after it. I did stop by, just talked to him, but never saw it. It's way off in the woods. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm good. I'll offer you $1,000 to $1,200, maybe $1,500 if I see some options on it, but I'm sure there's rust because of plow Jeep. And I stopped over yesterday, 2 days ago, and I looked at it, drove the Jeep probably a few hundred feet because there's no key to restart it. There's a trick to it, and I didn't have him next to me. I restarted it right there. Plus, the battery had to get a jump from his tractor. His battery to this thing was junk. But enough where I drove a few hundred feet, put it in second gear. It was disengaged overdrive, put overdrive. I mean, it was enough to try the transmission out where I could trust that. The brakes don't work at all. Power steering did work. And then I showed him, it's like $1,200. And he says $1,500, but I have a guy coming Sunday for it. You can take it now or wait till he comes and he passes, then you can have it for $12. So I can gamble and save $300 or spend $300 and not gamble on it. So I'll just take it. Once I saw overdrive and it does run, sure, I'll take it. So, yeah. Sure. Do I need it? No. So, that's that. Yeah, Mom has not seen otherwise. They've seen it there as is. I talked to Dad about it a little bit, but briefly. After 33 Jeeps, owning, Dad's just heard enough. Just at your own pace, buy your stuff, spend your money. So, And also with Kevin, I asked, like, can we do a split payment? If I do your $1,500, I'll go to that price. But also, can we split the money in half? So I pay $1,200 and pay $300 next week. Sure. So that made me a little more comfortable in buying it. So I like to bring this thing down to the garage and wash it, detail it. But today I'm busy with a drift car event at the Speedway going on. Tomorrow I have to go to a baptism for my niece at the church and yacht club. So I'm pretty busy rest of the weekend. Top of that, Mom doesn't know I really bought it. If I did tell her I paid $1,000 offer on it just to make her happy in less money terms. I'll sell the snowplow off for $250. Okay, that's $250 back out of $1,500. That's about it. So I don't know, say $1,200 Jeep I paid for it really to her, but yeah, she's not seen it yet. And also down the workshop, our car lift that we use for the shop is just got finished service on it. We fixed the hydraulics, but we got to raise it up, put it back in the ground, and then Grandma wants to come inside the garage this week and paint the garage. So it's like, I don't want to bring the Jeep in yet. We could sit outside. I still have Jenny to work on. My friend Patrick, which I call him Rick Payaway for all his Jeeps he has and knowledge. Worked on Jenny for the last week. Got it running way better, but he had to put another carburetor on it. So it's on its third carb now. So he rebuilt the 2 carbs I gave him. Fixed the vacuum leak in one, another one, a new acceleration pump. Fixed them, they're good, but he put on his own carb from the shelf from 20 years ago. He rebuilt. Actually, no, he didn't rebuild it. New old stock carb, all complete in the box. Put that on my truck. Here, use it. Fires right up, looks fine. So, third carb, I guess. I don't know. I have a car show next Saturday to go to in my truck. So, yeah. I might even if I could trust this trailer, tow this trailer behind Jenny, and haul this Jeep with Jenny, which she can, big stiff suspension on the truck, and she could tow 1 ton. It's only a 3-mile drive for the church, the car show. Get there early and take both Jeeps. I'll leave this one on. No way I can load it up without a winch. So that's an idea maybe next week if I could trust my truck. So, all right, 30+ minute video. That's long enough, but there's a nice walk around with a new Jeep, red Stallion, 1947 through 50. Unknown, but yeah, there you go. All right.